Tom Brady, famous NFL quarterback, with his father, Tom Sr. His father, Tom Brady Sr., recently said something that really raised a lot of eyebrows and it absolutely touched what is, it's almost like a third rail right now in the NFL, the issue of player injuries. How dangerous is the NFL? Is it too dangerous? Wall Street Journal columnist Jason Gay joins us. And, you know, Jason, a lot of times you throw a lot of humor into your columns, and I read this one today. Not a lot of humor in this column today. It is a pretty serious issue, isn't it?
It is a serious issue, and with regard to the interview that Tom Brady Sr. did, he did it with Yahoo Sports, Michael Silver, a columnist over there, and it was a pretty extraordinary interview. He talked about how if you were given the opportunity to, have a conversation with Tom, Tom Brady didn't start playing football until he was 14 years old, but were you to come to him now and say, I'd like to play football, it might be a different kind of conversation. And specifically what concerned Brady Sr. was the issue of head injuries, brain injuries, concussion syndrome, and the kinds of things that the NFL is confronted with right now.
Right, and we've seen this growing. I mean, the Saints scandal obviously put a big start into people. Kurt Warner came out and made similar comments. And what's interesting, of course, about Kurt Warner is he was the target of one of those Saint bounties, wasn't he?
Yes, and he was answering basically the same question. He was on the Dan Patrick Show, and he was talking about whether or not he would allow his own sons to play. And Warner said, look, if they want to play, they'll play, but I would have a problem with it. It would concern me. It would scare me as a father. And the regrettable thing about this was that there were a handful of ex-NFL players who just got out there and said that Warner was basically being disloyal to the sport, that it enriched him and his family. It was just kind of a ridiculous accusation because, as you said, nobody is more familiar with the hazards and the risks of playing football than somebody like Kurt Warner.
Right. I mean, let's talk about some of the players' lives have ended very tragically. Dave Durison a few years ago committed suicide and made a point that head injuries were a big part of what he was going through. Junior Seau very recently committed suicide. We don't know why he did it, but some people obviously speculating that all the injuries that had an effect there also.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's premature, of course, to say in Seau's case, but obviously, this is an issue that lingers over the NFL, has been for some time. This was something that the NFL was rather defensive of for a long time. But now what's really kind of alarming about its long-term future is that these calls, these kinds of comments, these are coming from inside the league. These are coming from Super Bowl MVPs. These are coming from the fathers of NFL icons. These are not, random reports and outsiders. These are coming from inside the league.